My name is Dylan Phelan, student number 16508983, and for my assignment I was mapping the supply chain of Ikea. One of the first things I came across was how eco-friendly and environmentally friendly they are, and how they like to use a lot of recycled materials and minimize waste. And they do this by setting out kind of an agenda called the Ikea way to their suppliers, and which basically makes sure that they follow these rules sort of. It also makes sure that they can't like utilize child labor and make sure that they have adequate working conditions, and also make sure they get paid properly. And so this kind of they do this by setting out or making them sign long-term contracts, so they kind of have a lot of trust there in their suppliers, and that kind of builds into the future for them. And also when it comes to manufacturing their products, they manufacture their products themselves, and they design all their products in Sweden. And when they're designing their products, they actually have a price that they have in mind before they've actually designed it, which is kind of the opposite way around of what a lot of places do. So when they start off designing it, they're kind of giving out how much they want it to cost, and so they're kind of saving money there. And that's one of the other ways they save money. They have a lot of cost cutting kind of areas, which is kind of how they can make their products so cheap. It's by like I said, using recycled materials, but also they kind of have a smart business plan of basically making the customer do most of the work when they go in. The customer has to go pick out their product, go down, take it off the shelves, and then themselves, bring it to the checkout themselves, so they don't need staff member there. And so that way they're kind of saving a lot of money. They kind of have all these like little ways they do it, and they're making a lot of profit themselves, but they're also able to sell on stuff for really cheap. And the way they kind of design their shop is done by having all their products on racks, and then they have like a minimum maximum system, which all the products have like a certain amount, like a minimum amount that they can have like at one time in storage, and a maximum amount. And they have a logistics manager there tracking these and making sure like that there's enough to like meet the demand. And they use in-store logistics to track the more popular products and see which are selling more, so they can make sure that they have a adequate backup again. And they use the cost per touch method, which is basically like minimalizing how many people are actually touching the product. So like I said before, with the customers, they don't want like too many staff having to handle it and getting it down for them and everything. So the less people who are actually involved in the product, the less it's going to actually cost them. And that kind of goes for their shipping as well. So when they're shipping a product, they kind of like less is more basically. They're saving more money on that. And when it comes to their shipping, like they use a flat pack design for all their products. So all their products obviously come in boxes, and the customers have to put them together themselves. And so, which again saving money, but it also saves some space in shipping. So they can ship more for like a less price, less cost, and also they can store more. Again, when they're like in the shop, the products are actually stored easier. They're put away, and so they're kind of saving money there. And they have a very, everything's very smart. They have their own ways of doing things, which kind of like work out for themselves, and all have led into their success.